Okay, so I've just completed my second square, and this is the way we're going to fasten off both the first and the second square. We're going to make our double crochets all the way over. We are going to join with the slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet, and we're just going to fasten off. So we're not going to make the chain one, single crochet in chain one and fasten off. We're just going to go ahead and snip it right there. Go ahead and get yourself a yarn needle, and we're going to do an invisible join. So do you see where the stitch ends? We're not going to go into this next stitch next to it. We're going to skip one and go into the following stitch, and we're just going to bring the yarn through. We're going to take that needle back into where the yarn was coming out of, which is right here. We're going to go in there, and we're just going to weave these ends. And there we go. So that beats having that little knot there, okay? So that's the invisible join. So next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and join with a zigzag border. I call it a zigzag border, okay? You want to get your two squares, right sides together, or if you want, you can lay them flat and work it this way. So we're going to close three sides of our square, and we're going to leave one side open to create a pouch, okay? So let's start with the slip knot. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and join in those spaces in the corner, okay, just like that. Excuse my voice. And we're just going to join with a slip stitch. Okay, and that's all we're going to be doing is working slip stitches. And how we're going to work it though is when we insert our hook, we're going to insert from the outside. Okay, so that's what that means. You're going to insert your hook into the stitch from the outside. Then you're going to go back to the left square, and you're going to join on the outside, or not join, but go into the outside, okay? And so the way that looks is you want to make sure that your yarn is in between both your squares at all times, okay? And don't mind, pay attention to this. We're going to weave this in at the end again. So since I joined with the simple slip stitch, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start on my right side. So I'm going to go into this very first double crochet here, and I'm going to catch both the back and the front loops, okay? So whenever you go into each stitch, make sure you're grabbing both of them. And then you're just going to do a slip stitch, okay? You're going to come over to the left side now, and you're going to do the same thing. And remember, you got to come in from the outside of our stitch and do a slip stitch. Go back to the right side, and from the outside, go into your stitch, make a slip stitch. Back to the left from the outside and make a slip stitch. So the reason that you have to go on the outside is so that it can start forming that decorative zigzag look. And what that means is this. Let me do a few of them here, and then I'll go back to instructions. You can tell already there's a little bit of a zigzag design there, see? So again, go to the left side and do slip stitch. Go back to the right side, and you're always going in from the outside. Do not go in from the inside, because then it won't look like a zigzag, okay? You may have the zigzag, but it may be on the inside, and you kind of want that design on the outside to give it that really special effect look. So look, you see how it's already forming that zigzag pattern? And that's all it is. You're going from the right to the left, making slip stitches only. Going back to my right, slip stitch, left, slip stitch, right, slip stitch, left, slip stitch, right slip stitch, left slip stitch. And we're going to keep doing that until we get to this corner space. You see how cute that looks? This would even look pretty if you would have done it in a yellow or even the brown. But I'm going to leave it in the solid color. You guys play with them, see what kind of a design you can come up with. This is one of my favorite joins that I like to use. It's my zigzag join. Well, it's not mine. I don't really know where I picked this up from, but I call it the zigzag join, and I don't even know if that's the correct name for it or not. I've been crocheting for so long that a lot of times I don't even remember the patterns where I got them from. It's just like this pattern. It's not my pattern. I made it once and I came across, oh, I still have the bag, which is right here, the old one. And so I just recreated it going off there. Okay, so I'm on my last one here on the right. I'm on my last one on the left. Okay, and when we get to the corners, all we're going to do is just go into that space, do a slip stitch, go into this space, make a slip stitch. And now I'm going to go ahead and continue going along this way into my stitches from the outside. So I'm going to go into this double crochet here, slip stitch, go into this double crochet on the left, slip stitch, go to this double crochet on the right, slip stitch. And at this point, if you wanted to, you possibly could hold them together like this and work them. So going back to my left, which would have been my left, going to the right, going to the left, back to my right, left, slip stitch, right, slip stitch, left, slip stitch, right, slip stitch. And you can see that it is, and our corners are kind of like a rounded corner now. Okay, so we're going to keep going, and again, once I get to the corner, we're just going to do one single crochet in each space. Oh my God, my voice, I'm so sorry. And again, I'm still coming in from the outside. I'm not going in from the inside. And I'm ensuring that the yarn stays in between my two panels, just like this. Okay, so I just did this one, so now I gotta go here. Wait, oh yeah, no, this is the next one. Go here, and I feel like I did something wrong because it looks like I have a little more on one side than the other, but we'll see. When we're working from the left to the right, you should end up with the same number of stitches towards the end, meaning when you have one on the right side, you should have one on the left side. And if you don't have that, that means somewhere along the line you skipped a stitch over here on one of the sides. So here I have two, and I'm going to go in here, which leaves me with the one. Here I have two, leaves me, so I'm doing good. Here's my last one on the right. Here's my last one on the left. Okay, so again, we're going to go into the spaces. So I finished doing the slip stitch on the left, so I'm going to go back to my right, go into that space from the outside, do a slip stitch, go back to my left, go into that space from the outside and do a slip stitch. So from here, I'm going to start up again on the third side, and I'm going to start with that first double crochet on the right. So here's a slip stitch here. I'm going to jump back to my left side now and do a slip stitch there. Okay, I'm going to go back to my right, and from the outside, not the inside. So when I'm talking about the outside, normally you would go, sometimes you join from the inside, meaning you insert your hook from the inside out. To create the zigzag look, remember, you have to go from the outside and pick up that yarn. So one of the ways that I remember if I'm doing it correctly or not is to make sure that my yarn stays in between my two panels, just like that. So I just finished that slip stitch on the left. I'm going to go ahead and do the slip stitch on the right. And I already have it in there, I can tell, right? So now this is going to be, that's how you can tell which stitch. Just look for where you've caught it already. I call it caught it because it kind of looks like it's hooked, so to speak. And then we just continue on. And it's nothing but slip stitches. Okay, we're slip stitching from the right to the left, back to the right, back to the left, inserting our hook from the outside inward, slip stitching, outside inward, slip stitching, and just keep on going. Go here and here. So I'm getting ready to get to that corner space. And we will be fastening off at that corner space, and then we're going to be doing a border around the top, which will be the next video, along with starting the strap, which is called, I call it, again, I don't know where I picked it up from, it's called a braided single crochet strap. And I like it because it doesn't have a lot of stretch to it. So it comes in handy for the purses. So here again, so the only exception here, since we started on the corners and we started them together, so we're going to end them together. So at this point, we're going to stop at the last double crochets, right? We're going to put our squares together, and we are going to make a single crochet in both of them, just like that. Then you're going to chain one and fasten off. Okay, so that does it for the zigzag joining. And after it's been joined, this is what it looks like. All the way around. This is by far my favorite joining because I like the decoration that it makes. Dear Lord, please help me today. But there we go. We have just finished joining our sunflower grannies. Join me on the next video to make the border and our strap.